officially in spring. Well, it didn't feel like it last night. It was 28 degrees last night. Yeah, so it is not quite warm enough to feel like spring, but we're getting there. We're getting there. It is the first day of spring today, but by the time you guys see this, it'll be Monday. So happy spring. We are going to go over week 4 of our planting series, and this is zones 5 and 6. We're going to go over what we can plant indoors, what we can plant outdoors under a single layer of protection or under a double layer of protection. So let's get started. Starting with zone 6, I have an estimated frost date of 4/25. And that's shooting a little bit later because I usually go off of Mother's Day as a zone 5 frost date, even though they're telling me that my last frost date is 4/28. I typically use Mother's Day as a rule of thumb. So I'm counting back 2 weeks at a time for each zone. So 2 weeks before Mother's Day is 4/25, and that would be zone 6. 2 weeks before that would be April 11th, and that would be zone 7. See where I'm going here? All right, so we're going to start with zone 6, and every zone 6 is not going to be the same. You do have to make sure that you are mindful of your weather and of your climate. So what works for everyone, what works for one might not work for everyone. That's why frost dates are usually estimated. So let's get started. All right, zone 6. What are we planting indoors? What can we still plant indoors? You can still plant basil, bok choy, and sorrel. If you want to sow outdoors, you can sow outdoors under a single layer of protection. You can sow arugula, beets, bok choy, broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower. These are transplants now. Carrots, chives, collards, dill, endive, horseradish, kale, kohlrabi, leeks, lettuce, mash, mizuna, mustard, onion, oregano, parsley, peas, potatoes, radicchio, radish, rutabaga, salsify, sorrel, spinach, Swiss chard, and turnips. Now, if you're growing any of those things under a double layer of protection, you can remove one layer and now grow them under a single layer of protection. So when you're thinking about, well, what is a double layer of protection? A double layer of protection would be 2 layers of 6 mil plastic, or a cold frame that is inside of a hoop house would be double layered. So you see where I'm going with that? If you're under a single layer, that would be like a row cover, that would be a cold frame, that would be 1 layer of 6 mil plastic, something of that nature. That would be 1 layer of protection. All right, so under a double cover, you can still plant cilantro, sage, and thyme. Those things need a little bit more protection right now, so they do need to go under a double cover. No cover at all, you guys can plant out claytonia and raspberries. And that is your list for zone 6. So moving on to zone 5, we can still plant indoors. We're planting eggplant, peppers, mizuna, mustard, tomatillos, and tomatoes. Tomatoes, guys, we can plant tomatoes finally. Yes! That's how you know the end is near. All right, now, if you want to sow outside under a single layer of protection, then you can sow arugula, carrots, collards, claytonia, kale, kohlrabi, leeks, lettuce, mizuna, mustards, mash, onion, parsley, peas, and spinach. All of those things can go under a single layer of protection. And if you're growing any of those things under a double layer of protection, then now's the time you can remove one layer of protection. All right, so we need to sew, if we're sewing outdoors under a double layer of protection, we can do beets, bok choy, transplant broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower. We can grow chives, endive, oregano, radicchio, radish, rutabaga, salsify, sorrel, Swiss chard, and turnip. Those are all things we can sow outdoors under a double layer of protection. All right, guys, that's the list. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. If you are, please give it a thumbs up. That would really help my channel. Like and subscribe. Share it with somebody who you think can benefit from it. And as usual, I will include in the description a link for a spreadsheet that you can put in your own frost date and figure out what you can be planting and how you can be planting it. Now, the thing about that is this is what you have to do. You have to click on the link and you have to select up in the left-hand corner, File, and then you have to copy file. That way you have a copy for yourself. I get emails here and there for requesting access to the document, and that's not what you want to do. You don't want to request access to the document. You want to copy the file so that you have your own copy, and then you can edit it as you wish. Okay, so I will include that link in the description. I hope you guys are off to a great start this spring, and until next time, the more you know, the more you grow. Bye, guys.